Now, Nancy Pelosi has been in the House for an extended period of time. She might be much more savvy about how you can wrangle votes and pass legislation. I guess we'll see when we're in the majority, and time will tell the ability of the squad to pass legislation. But now I want to do this. I want to go to Ayanna Pressley. She spoke first, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in this press conference with the squad. And she replaced, I can't even remember his name now. Capano? Is it?
Mike Capuano.
Capuano in Massachusetts, who was a pretty progressive congressman himself. And I got to admit that I was a little bit like, when I heard about this race, I was wondering as to, is this a good use of resources? The upgrade here has been enormous. And Ayanna Pressley may end up being the toughest fighter of these four, because I want you to listen very, very carefully to what she says here. She is speaking to Donald Trump, but she has one other person that she's speaking to. One other person.
Is simply a disruption and a distraction from the callous, chaotic, and corrupt culture of this administration all the way down. We want to get back to the business of the American people and why we were sent here, reducing the cost of prescription drugs, addressing the public health crisis and epidemic that is gun violence, addressing the racial wealth gap, and yes, making sure that families stay together. I also would like to just underscore the fact that despite the occupant of the White House attempts to marginalize us and to silence us, please know that we are more than four people. We ran on a mandate to advocate for and to represent those ignored, left out, and left behind. Our squad is big. Our squad includes any person committed to building a more equitable and just world. And that is the work that we want to get back to. And given the size of this squad and this great nation, we will not be silenced.
Okay. So, and I like the fact that she doesn't call him the president. She calls him the occupant of the White House. Nice touch. But ostensibly, she's speaking to Donald Trump and saying, our squad is big. We are more than four. And here's who she's speaking to. She's speaking to Nancy Pelosi, who just a week ago started off this row by saying, there's only four of them. They're not very big. They got their Twitter and whatever. Ayanna Pressley slid that in there as a reminder to Nancy Pelosi that we're not done with this. And we're going to show you how it's done. We're going to take Donald Trump and we're going to use Donald Trump to hammer you. And we're going to use your comments to hammer him. Here it is. Pelosi feels that the four of them made themselves irrelevant by voting against our bill, as she put. All these people have their public whatever in their Twitter world, but they didn't have any following. They're four people, and that's how many votes they got. Well, to Nancy Pelosi, it's all an inside game. The only thing that matters is how many votes sit in that institution. And the myopia she's expressing here is that she doesn't realize at one point what happens outside of Congress often comes into Congress. And Ayanna Pressley was reminding her of that. And this is where now these guys are going to be able to take, they now have the advantage. Because they have pulled, Donald Trump stepped into it, and they've pulled him deeper into it. Because now it's Nancy Pelosi has a choice. Whose side do you want to be on? the squad side, our side, with our bills? Or do you want to be on his side? And that's what's going on. And I'm not surprised, frankly, that there were reports last night that Nancy Pelosi basically told Steve Mnuchin, hey, that idea you have about getting a clean debt ceiling bill for a couple of months in the event that we can't come to any budget resolution, yeah, not going to happen. She can't afford to now. She can't afford to do that whatsoever. And I just found that fascinating. Ayanna Pressley was talking to Nancy Pelosi. And it was pretty impressive stuff.